Good morning. I'm Lark from LARK'sPerennials.com. Come and visit my website. Join in on the forum. This morning I am going to take you for a walk through the garden and just show you my grasses, mostly my grasses. It's been about 5 years since I started getting into grasses. This one here is Little Blue Stem, and it is fabulous in fall. It has a pinkish cast, so when these autumn joy sedums are in bloom, it really looks pretty in this area. Also is a very young division of Miscanthus Dixieland, which will probably get about 7 foot here, but it'll lighten up this area. It does get morning sun here. So I will try to just feature my grasses. And we're in zone 5 here in Wisconsin. Sometimes 4, but lately with global warming 5. This one here is called Morning Light. And it doesn't always get the plumes on it. And I don't know why, but the foliage is pretty. This is on the east side of my garden, so when the sun comes up, it looks pretty shining through it. A little more lacy looking. And then of course this is Karl Forrester, which they told me didn't run, but it is running. So this is a young planting. I will be using Roundup on the runners, I think. Soon this goldenrod will be blooming against that morning light, and the Persicaria with these hot pink flowers. I think this one's called Firetails. Looks pretty in the autumn garden. It's been blooming since about the first week in June, but the Japanese beetles love it. So grasses and dark foliage I've been trying to concentrate on. Now this is a young planting of, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is called a paniculatum, and it is called redhead. The bottle brush flowers on it, or plumes, usually are above the foliage, but it's young, so I'm thinking that's why it's doing that. Another great tall grass is zebra. It's a zebra grass of some type, and that one there is probably gets about 9 feet. I do use structures to hold up my grasses. I don't like them when they flop in the wind. Now this one here is the mother plant of Miscanthus Dixieland, and it needs to be divided at least in half next year. I don't want it too big. I have a path there, and I want to be able to walk around it or through it. This morning I tied it up with rope. I did have twine, but so you don't see that I'm holding it up, but I had to use rope because it's too big. This one here is such a pretty variegation, mostly white, that I did plant about 6 more throughout the garden so that white will show up in the garden all the way down. This is getting to be another favorite. Probably it maxes out at about 4 or 5 feet, is Little Zebra. And with all the grasses, I do divide them at least every 2 to 3 years because I don't want huge clumps in the garden. Here is the paniculatum, I think, redhead. So pretty in the morning light. And when we start getting those morning frosts, light frosts, it sparkles really pretty. And it's garlic chives with it. Sorry. Excuse me. Our mornings are cool. Let's see, down in the 60s. Another Eualia. No, why do I keep calling it? This is the Miscanthus Dixieland. More Karl Forrester. So I keep repeating. I did put a super huge, that tall zebra grass that gets about 9 foot. I did put one in there last year, a small clump, so I have to give it, 2-3 years in there. The Artemisia looks so pretty this time of the season because it gives you that brightness in the garden. More little zebra. The asters are starting to pop. I also like the, it's in the Joe Pye family, Eupatorium. Oops, it didn't focus. Snake root. Gets white flower late in the season. It should get taller, but I took cuttings off of it, so it is shorter this year. The goldenrods will be blooming. Oh, there's another paniculatum I put in there. It's hard to see, but I figured I need some of that bottle brush look in this area. And the flowers, or the plumes on it, are real short, but again, it's only been there one season. There's some of the goldenrod. I'll do a fall garden walk probably in a couple weeks. And that'll be a bright golden yellow. I don't know what the name of it is. I call it flame because it just has the shape of a pointed flame up on top. And I prune that one so it blooms shorter and taller in the same spot. Now, that variegated grass back there, I bought it at the same time I bought the Miscanthus Dixieland. This one is supposed to be shorter. And I think the tag said Eualia grass. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But again, I like the variegation because it's mostly white. Morning sounds are so pretty. I do have some Shenandoah switchgrass, and I try to put it up front more so it's a little more showy, or backlit. That's turtlehead with it. And some garlic chives again. And yes, I know garlic chives go all over, but I do deadhead. So I do have a Miscanthus that does go crazy and is about 7 foot. And it's behind, way back in my garden, on the back side of it. And it gets about 7 foot, and it's a runner. But this year, it didn't do very good because of no rain. So it's shorter, and in fact, some of it is real short, a couple feet, because it gets absolutely no water. And I keep it from coming into the garden. I have it contained with some galvanized sheeting on the side of the garden. That's Joe Pye with it back there. It's just going to start to get its feathers. But in my fall garden tour, it'll look prettier. Thank you for tuning into my channel and joining in on my garden forum. I appreciate it, but most of all, I love chatting with all of you. And I'll see you in my fall garden tour, probably in about, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe I'll do an early fall and a late fall. So thanks for tuning in. And just to show you that some parts of my garden are young, and I too have to wait for them to get bigger. And that Miscanthus Dixieland is young too. It's one of the 5 clumps I told you about that I planted last year. So we'll give it a few years. Bye-bye, and thanks again.